no shade. So letting her go, letting her rip, letting her fly, tossing her in sideways, living the life, letting her ride, eyesight, winning to die, cross her up on the cushion, crossing the line, cause some drama and some bullshit they didn't like, and if they don't like the move, then we're ready to fly. But this is how we ride, this is how we do, riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove, don't give a damn about the cash we're spending, with the time we got we choose, to play it on the go, to stay out on the run, we all high, wide and handsome, ain't telling you what's right or wrong, or what to choose, hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do, This is how we roll, this is how we do. It's not for everybody but the chosen few. And we pray, cause we know that they might not ever come back. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have tuned in to the world today a little earlier than usual. Get these out of the way. Since they've been lasting 3 hours, it wouldn't be bad if we could get one, that doesn't last, 3 hours again. Maybe just an hour, hopefully get it done. Get the lunchtime in and out. And we actually do have someone on the line today. He has returned from the I don't know what would you call last time? What happened there? What happened?
What happened is you were on a rant, and I had to go for a meeting. And I had to go, brother.
That's not what the comments saying. The comments are saying you have been exposed as a NASCAR gatekeeper and all these things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's see.
You ran from the truth. That's what they say.
I ran from the Chaz.
The truth set in, and you just couldn't handle it.
I know, man.
You couldn't handle it.
It was one of those woke days, I guess, right?
It sounds of freedom. Sounds of freedom.
Sounds of freedom.
Sounds of freedom. So what do you think about this? Obviously, I just talked about it. What do you feel about this Israel situation? Apparently, Israel's under attack. It is Bible prophecy. That is the sign of the end times is near.
We'll see, man. It seems like these guys have been going at it for how long? Long time, since what, 1940s?
Right.
I don't know. It's been a long time.
Well, Israel politics and American politics are pretty interesting, though. They kind of control it, right? That's why we're going to fight for them or something?
I don't know, man. I honestly don't even watch mainstream TV. So
that's scary.
I just follow, I follow Bloomquist and the Chaz. That's enough.
Bloomquist and the Chaz, and that's it. No Dirt Tracker.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't follow Bloomquist. No, Dirt Tracker's pretty good, man. You're killing it on your streams. I gotta say something that's really interesting, man. That I told you that was going to happen, and you said no way. It was Anthony Macri getting back in the 39. I told you that he wouldn't be able to cut it.
That is the scary
part. Or the two of them
part.
separated.
That is
the two of them.
Go ahead.
Did I not say?
I mean,
with no inside knowledge. No inside knowledge. Did I not call that?
You did. And SprintCarUnlimited.com put the stories out. Obviously, there's two driver kind of changes, I guess, or announcements that was busted out to the world by SprintCarUnlimited.com. The first one was that Anthony Macri returns to reunite with Macri Motorsports this weekend and moving forward. Now, tonight at the High Limit show, it'll still be Justin Sanders, but after that, it will be Anthony Macri back in the 39. I don't know how to feel about it. How do you feel about it? You're just like, good luck.
No, I think it's the best case scenario for both parties, to be honest. Unless Macri Motorsports was going to fully commit to Justin Sanders, that was the only other option I thought would have been on the table. Or would they have given the legend Lance Dewease a full-time outlaw opportunity that no one's really ever given him? right?
You think that was a viable option to put Dewease in the 39M for full time? An outlaw
No,
run?
I don't think it was ever. No, it was never an option, but it would have been nice to see. Just think of all of the fans that would have loved to see Lance Dewease actually try and stick it to the Outlaws.
Well, and
right?
then, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think somebody in the PA area, you know, they hear the horror stories about being an outlaw racer. So even a younger guy like Devin Borden, I remember talking to him like, you know, it sounds pretty rough out there. And I'm like, well, it is. And it's like, well, that's probably why a bunch of guys, they'll come to PA. And if you can make a decent living and drive race cars and see your family every night, that's worth it. To hell with the Outlaw Tour. That ain't, you know.
Yeah, I honestly think that Lance Dewease, you know, he's kind of an old school guy. I think that he would have been able to pull it off personally. But, yeah, I got to tell you, Chaz, you know, Macri back to the 39, you know, that big question is where's Justin Sanders going to go? Is there rumors that he's going to get a ride somewhere, like anything?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of people out there, but I heard that a bunch of people saw what Sanders did. And based on our conversation with Broke Joe yesterday, which got very intense, apparently California's still screwing people over week after week, mind you. And it seems to be after Justin Sanders, and he basically was like, well, at least Justin don't have to deal with this crap anymore, you know, next year. And I was like, so what do you mean? Has he got a driver or a ride or what's happening? And he says, well, I can't say much, but people saw, you know, so how good he was in the 39M. So it looks like that Sanders is going to be out of the island next year for sure.
Very nice.
That seems to be the case. And then you mentioned Dewease. Nice. Dewease announced a ride. Of course, some people reading this not recognizing the name Barry and Brent Schaar. But this is the car that was that 1229 oblong car that was running so well at Port Royal. Was that the Tusky night that he was up front?
I'm not sure which night, but I remember them referencing it as a B-main car.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like, oh, he's running really good for a B-main car or B-main driver.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, that Paul Hoon or whatever. I heard a lot of people say they hate the announcer at Port Royal, but yeah, that's what he was saying. But that's the car, apparently, that Lance Dewease is going to full time. So he's obviously happy with the PA route. He must be.
But you know what? He's a guy that would get a ride no matter what, right? It's just he's gonna make the moves in the right opportunity at the end of the day, right?
No,
because he's got a bit of a legacy to keep, right?
Right. Now, obviously, last time you called in, Clark, was Friday. Did anything happen since then that you want to talk about or can't believe or this, that, and the other? You were predicting that Kyle Larson wasn't going to make the top 8, and he almost didn't. There was points in the race where he was outside the top 8. That's the NASCAR.
He got really lucky.
What did he get
Especially
lucky about?
Especially because he junked the car in practice. Well, he junked the car in practice, right?
Right.
He junked the car in practice, and that's what I'm saying is he's stepping beyond the capabilities of the car, right? He's going above and beyond the limits of the car, and it's like, come on, man, just calm down a little bit. You can't always be ripping the lip, you know, lap 1.
And that's why you're saying he needs a driver's coach.
I think he needs a mental coach. He needs something on the NASCAR side because it's an endurance race. It's not a 30-lap sprint car race, you know?
Right.
It's a sprint race.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I get it that the stages have become sprint races, but they're longer than what a sprint car race is, right? And his natural ability saves him 90% of the time in the sprint car just because he's got that big-ass right rear tire that he can lean on and lean on his natural ability to save the car.
Right.
Where with this NASCAR Cup car, man, I'm telling you got to drive it 90%, 92%. You can't go – once you go 95%, you know, you're gonna crash.
Now, before we move on too long, do you think that this Macri deal was orchestrated?
Orchestrated, eh?
Well, I mean, he wasn't that. I mean, he was a kind of a big name, but he wasn't really that big. I mean, he was big in PA, but when this whole ride split and everything happened, I mean, he went to a household name. So you think that this was like, hey, we need to get, let's do a marketing deal for 1 year, kind of like the N-word with Larson. Let's make your name really big. Him and Bubba, and they fake it
made
for
less
a year.
money.
Well,
I don't know how when mom and dad are paying for everything. I don't know how it's a win. If anything, it's an embarrassment on the family.
You think so?
It's more an embarrassment on the family, of course. Are you kidding me? It's in the public sphere.
But I mean, if they can handle it mentally, then you play the game, just like Larson did in 2020 with the N-word. You give it a year.
Okay,
you take the public sacrifice, the Illuminati sacrifice, public embarrassment, which is a actual course in degree and up, and you embarrass yourself for a year, and in that sacrifice is the publicity and the household name.
I disagree. No way.
You don't think it was
Anthony
orchestrated?
Macri is not. No, I don't think it was orchestrated. If it was orchestrated, they lost money on the deal. They didn't get the PR that they're looking for.
I don't know.
The only way it makes sense, Chaz, is if at the end of the day you're going to make more money, sell more T-shirts.
Well, I mean, but
right?
What about the people in society that have so much money that money doesn't matter anymore? There's a lot of them that money is no object. I mean, you look at what the 39M team has, and you could maybe say that's the case for them at certain points. So when money's no object, it's more so about everything else than money.
Well, it's more about last name and tarnishing your last name, really.
Right, but now they got back together. I'm just saying, if you look at this on a stage, it could easily been a play.
No, not a play.
This is the happy ending.
I think it's a spoiled kid having a tantrum, and then going out on his own, and then mom and dad saying, was it really worth the tantrum? And then no, mom, dad, it's not worth the tantrum. And then okay, well, let's just get back together and like nothing happened. Let's go.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's necessary. I hear that people think that, but I don't know if that could be possibly the truth, just because I heard he was offered the ride multiple times throughout this year and he was rejecting it. So how is that daddy teaching a lesson when he's the one saying no?
I don't see how you would say no to a Ferrari, right?
I mean, people do it all the time. I mean, hopefully your wife does it. If a guy rolls up in a Ferrari and says, let's go, she says no, right? For love, right? That's apparently what was happening a little bit over there. It was the love bug that was in there causing ruckus.
I don't know, man. I can't speak to that.
Don't
but
you want your wife to say no to the Ferrari? Isn't it that simple?
Well, yeah, it is that simple.
So let's just say maybe his wife was requesting him to say no.
You're playing devil's advocate here. You could be onto something.
I'm playing from a state of knowledge, but I can't sit here and say all the things I know. But it sounds like maybe somebody was telling their significant other to say no to the Ferrari. That's what it sounds like.
So potentially a significant other saying no to the Ferrari, but at the end of the day, so that at the end of the day, it's money. It's all what it boiled down to. It's money.
Well, I do think that once he got out into the real world and realized how much money he wasn't making racing other cars in that only skill that he technically has in life, and this is something that Spike was talking about, these kids who are raised to race, if they don't race, they don't make no money. Therefore, they're dependent on the corporate support, the money to support them. That's why he was relating it to trafficking. Because it depends on people giving you things to survive, and it teaches you how to kiss ass and all this stuff to get money and rides and sponsors, blah, blah, blah. But I would say that he probably saw it was way harder to make money outside of that family deal and operation. He might have been a little bit ignorant to how much other drivers were making and thinking that what he was getting at the 39M might have been unfair, possibly. That could be an angle. But then he got out there in the real world and learned differently.
Exactly my point.
That's what you're saying. That's what your point is?
That's exactly what my point is at the end of the day.
It got quiet over there. Did the baby go to sleep or something? Or
No, I'm telling you that's the scenario that I've always believed, is that he thought the grass was greener on the other side, and you know what? I'm not going to make it nearly the amount of money, and then mom and dad probably said, here, we'll pay you, let's just say he's making $60,000, here's $85,000, and then he's going to be like, oh, great, and then you're going to get, instead of 30% on winnings, maybe that mom and dad said you'll get 50.
Or maybe it was like what people were speculating, T-shirt sales, like you get this much more or something.
Yeah, that can be an option at the end of the day, right? But at the end of the day, it's money, Chaz. It's all about the money.
I don't know. I think when you get to a certain elitist position in the world, it's no longer about money. That's why this Israel deal is kind of important, because when you go research the rich, ultra rich, where money is no object, the people who own the money, which are in existence, they're more so about transcendence and then religion. They're either hardcore like Bible freaks, or they're hardcore AI, let's become computer people. So I don't know. Once you get to a certain amount of money, especially if you're born into it, money is something that really doesn't matter. You make decisions based on other things. It's not so much of a middle, low class, or even a high class decision-making front, because you're above those classes. High class starts at how much a year? Let's just say high class, technically, I think starts at like $300,000 or $400,000 a year. And we're talking about a family who's putting that into, a half of, that's not even a quarter of the racing operation. So it's hard to decide how those decisions are being made. I don't think when you get to that certain amount of money that you can say decisions are being made based on money.
I would say that the decisions are being made on money when it comes to the driver. He wasn't making enough money at the end of the day, is what I'm saying. Right? Because at the end of the day, it was a family-run business. We don't know, obviously, all the inner workings, but I'm just happy that they're back together. That's all I'm going to say. I see it as a positive, because
and that's why I say it's a show.
To get back together.
I'm thinking it's a show, possibly.
Ooh, all right. I'm starting to.
Anthony Macri and the 39M team is now one of the must-see. This weekend at MPA, there will be more streaming viewers than they've ever had for a regular old weekend. Because Anthony's back in the 39M.
I can believe that kind of the stars are aligning on that to a certain degree. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
Anyways, you're happy though, right? You're happy
back,
that he's back in the Ferrari?
Sure. Not my monkey, not my circus, So anyway, I guess the circus we could talk about is this Larson deal. How does he actually get advanced up into fourth and with the +3? Is it based on season points or something? How is this working?
Stage wins, and where you finish in the various stages, and obviously you're also overall finishing the race. So every time there's a stage race, there's points given out in the stages, right? Mm-hmm. So from 1st to 10th, there's stage points.
So you got Chevy and Toyotas are in there, but you ain't got no Fords, and the only Fords are Ryan Blaney and Chris Buescher.
Right.
And this is all a manufacturer award. That's all that matters. But then you also have Bell and Larson. In this Bell Larson situation, you were just talking about how Larson overdrove his car in practice. at the Roval. And he always overdrove his car a little bit. You know, when Bell beat him at the Chili Bowl, passed him on the last lap, it was simply because Larson overdrove the car. Out of these, and these are two of the dirt phenoms. I feel like a bunch of people have forgot how good Chris Bell is in a dirt car because he's not allowed to race. But Chris Bell, in my opinion, is just as good, if not better. I would go on the better side than Kyle Larson in a dirt car. I think if you gave Christopher Bell a late model shot, he would do just as good, if not better, than Kyle as well. What's your thoughts on this whole deal? Obviously, Bell's out, Larson's in, but Bell was in last year and Larson was out. Just starting the first three races here, and they're going to, it looks like, Vegas, Homestead, and Martinsville. Obviously, Miami seems to always be a Larson track. But Bell's done good at Vegas. Obviously, short tracks, Martinsville, it's anybody. But what do you think?
I think C Bell's the guy right now. Like, you have one, two, three, four Toyotas, you know, against, you know, two Hendricks Chevys and two Fords, right?
Right.
I would put my money on a Toyota driver at this point, and you know who was in the Final Four last year and who wasn't.
You all of a sudden got real quiet with your talking. What happened?
Oh, you can't.
I can hear you. You just your tone has went down. That's why I asked if a baby went to sleep or something.
I would say I would put my money on C Bell at the end of the day.
What about for overall?
C Bell.
For the championship?
It's going to come down to C Bell versus William Byron, Denny Hamlin, and maybe Tyler Reddick.
So you don't see a scenario where Larson and Bell are in the Final Four?
If it's the two of them, I'll be shocked.
Well, I mean, I think both of them could win a race. I think Larson could easily win Homestead. That just seems to be like his favorite track, performance-wise. And Vegas or Martinsville, I could see Bell winning at one of those.
I don't know. It's, you know, Kyle's got a lot on his plate. You know, he's going to do the Indy 500 rookie test on Thursday. You know, I don't know. Kyle's got a lot on his plate. And, you know, maybe Jeff Gordon's right. Maybe he kind of wish Kyle's racing a little bit less during the playoffs. You know, maybe he's getting wore out.
You think he's getting wore out?
3 kids, all of these businesses going on. Dude, there's a lot going on. You kidding me? There's a lot going on in the background.
And even racing tonight. You know, Christopher Bell's in the simulator all day. And Larson's out here playing sprint car driver, you know.
When you get to the playoffs like this, you almost got to just kind of focus on winning the championship at the end of the day.
Right. Of course, have you seen the entry list tonight for Lincoln Park?
I have not. Give me the list.
It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 40 cars in the pre-entry. 40 cars.
40 cars, and it's still going to be a 3-hour show?
Will it be? I don't know. It is a short track, so the laps go fast.
But here's the thing. Is there an undercard? Is there are there going to be locals racing too, or is it just going to be a high limit only cars?
It doesn't say on the post here. No, actually, looking at the schedule of events, hot laps are at 6 p.m. Eastern, so 5 Central. And it shows no other class on the card. Estimated end time 9 o'clock.
3-hour show?
Yeah, which this will be a nice track. I mean, it's a short track. It's a fast track. I mean, it's going to be a good race. You got a lot of non-wing guys in there, like Logan Seavey, who I think's another Larson Bell talent. He's there tonight in a 24S car. I believe that is a Simon car. You got Rico's there. Brady Bacon's there. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, Brady Bacon's there.
Yeah, I mean, this is smack dab in
one.
non-wing country. I mean, I thought I would have saw a CJ Leary in here somewhere in that 19 car, but he's not on the list. I would think they'd show up. Jake Swanson's there. Surprised they don't have the Bowman car going anymore. But yeah, a bunch of guys. Buddy Kofoid's there tonight. Kevin Thomas Jr. It looks like an Indy Race Parts car. Parker Price Miller in the Indy Race Parts car. Sanders last night in the 39M. Of course, Rico, Courtney, Chris Wyndham, non-wing guys could shine tonight. Non-wing guys could shine tonight. Wouldn't it surprise me at all if Logan Seavey was to win, So
I'd put money on Brady Bacon before Seavey.
Well, he does have the wing experience in winning, of course, winning the Outlaw race this year. So.
Exactly. I put money on Bacon being in the top 5 tonight for sure.
Right. Just trying to see if there's any other names that pop off.
So do you not agree that Port Royal should not have had a support race, having the 305s?
Well, I mean, but the best racer in PA, Zach Rhodes, won the race. So.
Do you not agree that the Outlaws need to look at more of High Limit, where they're the only show that goes there, and get it in and out in 3 hours?
Yeah, I mean, the Outlaws
hopefully the track doesn't rubber down.
But they like one support class. I mean, 305s might have been the worst, a bad choice, but they do like one support class that, they do an invite only, have one class there that at least gives the drivers and teams time between heat races and hot laps and stuff like that. I mean, you could do it right if you had like a full-blown, like I said, a FS1 pre-game show, halftime show, and like an end show. You could break that dead time up with entertainment outside of on-track entertainment.
But the only way to do that is you need to have 2 guys that really gel together. And I don't think these guys are really gelling together on a dirt vision, on the sprint car side.
Well, at least Flo tries 2 people. The World of Outlaws, it's just Johnny Gibson and that's it.
Yeah, Johnny Gibson, and then who's
Chase
the guy
Rodman.
in the infield? Yeah, only when he's allowed to talk can he talk, right?
Right. It's very dictated by Gibson, it seems.
Exactly. It's a Gibson show, and if Gibson doesn't go to you, you ain't talking, right?
Well, just have Johnny play like the guitar for a halftime show or something and sing a song. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
But you still need downtime between the heat races and your next event. So
agreed.
They've been doing that traditionally with a support division.
True, but then the problem is when you have that support division, if that support division wrecks the track, or takes an hour and a half to run, 20 lap midget race, that's a problem.
I mean, I guess. I mean, midgets, it probably wouldn't help you if it's a push-off division. You need something with the starter.
Yes, correct. And then also there needs to be a time limit. Okay, you need to have.
And what do you feel on
25.
How do you feel about? Yeah, I agree with the time limit deal, but how do you feel about the hard rumor I got that this high limit series is going to implement starters next year?
Implement starters, eh? Wow.
They're going to implement as an option and then mandatory by 25.
I think that's good for the show. It'll get it going a lot quicker. You need less. Then you can say that they're playing the green card, right?
Right.
I think it's a good idea, but then again, how much horsepower is that going to take away?
Well, I mean, like I said, implement it next year. Let some people get it And then by 25, you got to lock it down. Of course, you'd give them some kind of weight break, I'd assume, for those who do have it.
Right. I think it's a good idea, moving things in the right direction. But then again, is it going to add too much to the costs, or is it going to save in other areas?
Right. Is it going to save in other areas? Right.
You know, like it does kind of suck when someone's having motor problems that you got to constantly push them off to try and see if it's going to fire, right? Instead of just firing it in the pits.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
I
you got
do
to stop the show.
see a lot of
You got to add a delay to everything.
Exactly.
And honestly, this isn't a rumor. This is just my idea, but I think this is what they're going to do.
I think it's a great idea, personally.
This is what I think they're going to do.
Well, hell yeah, let's do it.
So you would be for that. What about a new sprint car chassis, safer? Dallara makes it.
Dallara, please don't stay away.
Why? That's where everybody goes. That's the master of safety.
No, because Dallara is the cheapest.
Yeah, but everybody is there in American motorsports. Who isn't doing Dallara?
Well, you have Multimatic in Canada and the UK.
Yeah, but I mean, who is not doing Dallara, though? Who isn't? Like, the names of the game, in NASCAR and IndyCar in America are both Dallara, right?
Yeah, same with Formula 2 in Europe.
Right, so what I'm saying is, like, Kyle has...
The Formula 1 car is Dallara.
Kyle has a relationship with these people because of NASCAR and obviously IndyCar he's racing. I feel like it wouldn't be hard for someone, and I think Larson's, once again, this leader of the community, of the world of sprint car racing. I think if he says it, you'll get more people than you wouldn't doing it. Whether that's starters or whether that's a new car, if Kyle's the one on the front line saying we should do this, I think more people will be susceptible to doing it.
Well, I think a little bit wider car where there's more room in the cockpit, I think would be good because we're getting more and more drivers like Carson Macedo that are pretty tall.
Normal sized?
Normal size. When we're starting to see some guys get in the 6-foot range, right? And they're wanting to hop in the sprint cars. So it would be nice for a safer car, but also at the end of the day, the market's going to, dictate which direction that goes.
Well, right? And then you got big block modifieds that are basically a sprint car, but double the room, but they're a little longer. But yeah, I think to make the car safer, you'd have to literally change the entire structure of how it's built. You'd have to make a new car. And if you're Kyle, who best to go to for this new car than Dallara, with all the connection you have?
Well, from a manufacturing capability, he's got one of the sponsors that's building sprint car chassis in Canada, like Glenn Stiers. Glenn Stiers supports Larson. He could pump out sprint car chassis cheaper than anybody if he was asked to. He could probably help save the market a little bit on costs. Dallara, if you deal with Dallara, Chaz, the price is going to go through the roof.
You think that's all it would be a price gouge?
If you get Dallara involved, they would triple the cost. You get somebody like a Glenn Stiers who is financially invested with tracks and is a car owner and does a shit ton to support the sprint car world as a whole. That's somebody that you want, is someone that literally loses money trying to grow the sport.
Okay, we got an interesting fan question. 2 rules for sprint car racing should be starters and the banning of tractor tires. I think that most people want tractor tires gone. Why are tractor tires still even around? What's the point?
Well, because they can move them around, right? That's why they do that, right? To save the racetrack, right?
And they're cheaper, I guess, than some kind of actual constructed version.
Yep. Well, they also do that, right? Because they know that if they don't have it there, then the track's going to be faster, right? So
right.
I agree. Tractor tires should go away because those things freaking hurt when you hit those. Like, let's be honest, it's like hitting a rock.
Okay.
I agree. get rid of
It'll
them.
be interesting to see what they do.
There's no standards when it comes to, you have World Racing Group being the sanctioning body for over 5,000 tracks or 5,000 races or whatever, but there's no like mandates on what the track needs to do with regards to like this type of thing. Like, why don't you guys have an inside wall? Why? Why don't you guys have X? Why don't you guys have Z?
It's very
they
barbaric.
don't have that. What was that track where the guy hit the pole, and then they had a friggin' an old VP tin drum empty friggin' up against the pole? Like, how stupid are these people?
Right? Welcome to the backwoods.
But it's like, you have somebody spending $60,000 on a 360 motor, $80,000 on a 410 motor, and it's like, you guys can't just make things a little bit safer? Like, you guys are paying out, $70,000 in prize money. You couldn't just put a $2,000 thing in place where someone's not going to get killed?
Right. You would think.
Anyways.
You would think that'd be the case.
Hey, we should make the call right now, Chaz. Toyota TRD, get rid of some of that midget money so that Roth can run 2 full-time cars next year with Buddy Kofoy and McFadden.
And that's what
Stop
you think.
wasting the money. Stop wasting
no more
the
midgets.
money. Just cut back on it.
Yeah, why do you need 10 midgets?
When you can have 4 World of Outlaw cars fully funded, 4 additional ones,
and
you
rent
could
those
actually
out.
Prepare your drivers for freaking, ARCA or NASCAR. Like, come on. We want the best. We don't want some little baby. Like, we want the freaking best. Come on.
Right. I mean, it's true.
All right, I'm looking at this right here. All right, Larson, PPM could be fast tonight. Kofoy, ooh. Okay, my top 5 for tonight: Larson, Kofoy, Bacon, Tyler Courtney.
What about Ryan Timms?
He's got to grow up a little bit. He's got to develop personality.
But he was the best in the world last year or whatever.
Sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're cold.
How can you be cold for an entire year?
What do you mean? How can you be cold for an entire year? Simple. You don't have your head on straight.
Well, when you say sometimes you can be hot or sometimes you could be cold, that usually means some kind of fluctuation to being hot. I don't know. I mean, I guess being hot. I mean, I think he won like the Lucas Oil 360 deal 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago or whatever, but ain't been nothing else really hot.
Here's the great thing about sprint car racing, Chaz, is you can be hot, or you can be hot and cold, or you can be cold as fuck and on your way out.
Do you think Ryan Timms is on his way out?
No, I don't think he's on his way out. He's got probably some family money. He's going to be fine. It's just going to take time to develop. That's it.
But you're not picking him for tonight.
Same way.
No way.
No, I'm not picking him for tonight.
Who's the rando guy that you could see winning? I mean, that would be Logan Seavey for me.
The random guy winning?
Yeah, random guy would be like Logan Seavey or Kevin Thomas Jr.
Honestly,
or Scotty Thill or Chris Windom.
I have Sanders as my P6 guy.
Now, he hasn't won in the 39M car. That's the one, box that has not been checked for Sanders is winning in that car.
Right, and it would be nice for him to cap off a win. Personally, he would be
that would be the more so storyline way, yeah. Even to go along with Macri getting back in the car, I'm sure they'll mention it on the broadcast.
I think it would be an amazing thing if he wins and then he steps out of the 39 and his stock just goes up massively.
Definitely. Yeah.
Massively. But hey, Chaz, I got a jet, dude. Thanks for the fireside chat.
No problem.
I'll look forward to tonight, man. But yeah, my dark horse to win tonight is that I'd be rooting for would be Sanders. 100%.
Okay. All right.
Sanders and Bacon. So, all right. Have a good one.
All right.
Ciao.
And that was Clark calling in, and the chat with the new car will have a larger engine. Maybe do something nice with the. I mean, if you do a new car, you could pretty much do whatever you want. I mean, you could have a new engine package that's more equal. You could and like even something like a shots motor would be cool, but I don't know. I think if they were to do that, they would try to gradually progress to something like that. But you could mandate something new right off the get-go. I think it would be easy for them to, allow starters next year, and then by 25 or 26, mandate starters on sprint cars, which is something that Larson has publicly said he'd like to do. And owning a series and running a series, you have the option to mandate or allow rules. I mean, the sprint car thing is still the Wild Wild West. A lot of this dirt track thing is the Wild Wild West. There is no official rule book. There's just everybody trying to go off whatever the Outlaws do. Now with Larson and them being in this position, they could make rules that the Outlaws may have not done or institute changes that the sprint car world needs, whether that is starters, whether that's a new car. I've been talking about a new car. I think if you want to have any kind of more safer sprint car, you got to change the actual car. They got opportunities to do stuff like that now. It's not like they're locked up to where they have to do something that the Outlaws want them to do. If Paul Silva, innovator of his own, sees something that, hey, we could do this, we could do that, they got plenty of the minds in that circle to be able to institute those style of changes to the sport. Why not give it a go? Why not try it? Give it a go, give it a try, make it an optional, at least with the starter deal. And then if the starter deal goes over well, then you progressively move into maybe a new car for the betterment of the sport. And like I said, I think if Larson is at the helm of the change, that it's more than likely going to have more people on board with doing it than without. And I just think that that's 100% of a fact when it comes to Larson and his impact with people and getting groups of teams through his nepotism to be able to jump on board with an idea that he and Brad Sweet may have for the future of sprint car racing. This whole entire high limit thing is basically that in itself, and a great example of that being the case. I did want to hint or tap onto a little bit of a deal. The World of Outlaw late model series is going down to Sonoya and Rome this weekend. One of their few down south trips. I-75 canceled their event that they were supposed to have on Thursday prior to these two events. This is a Bobby Pierce situation to me because a bunch of people, I believe it was Chris Madden himself, said that all the Outlaws did this year was basically just cater to Bobby Pierce to make sure he comes onto the tour. They scheduled races outside of the South more so to favor Bobby, to make sure it was more comfortable for him to come onto the tour and to sign up for the entire year. Kind of a fixes-in accusation towards the World of Outlaws and Bobby Pierce because they knew that he was a name that draws fans, good or bad. Some even accused the team and the Outlaws to the point of saying that the Outlaws paid Bobby Pierce money under the table to influence him and his team to join the tour. A lot of speculation, a lot of assumption. Is it presumption? Are they presumed to have this opinion of Bobby Pierce in the World of Outlaws? Or are they assuming this with this opinion? I'm assuming the presuming side would be how some of these drivers may have knowledge on how the Outlaws will give teams and drivers extra money to commit to the World of Outlaw series. Somebody like a Chris Madden would have knowledge on that, or in the past, potentially the World of Outlaw late model series has given him money to come on to the tour or something along those lines. So it would be very interesting to know those things. We won't ever get to know those things. The accusation, the questioning, the wondering is always going to happen. Of course, facts are boring and speculation is fun. But this weekend, Sonoya and Rome will be two interesting races to watch, and they're going to be on Dirt Vision World of Outlaw Late Model Series. There is not a Lucas Oil Late Model Series date, I do not believe, until the Eldora Dirt Track World Championship. Just going over here to the website to verify, I do not believe that they had. Nope, exactly. Eldora Dirt Track World Championship prelim, October 20th. That'll be the next time that the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is on the track. So until then, you got these other races leading up to that. Of course, this is the only race leading up to that because it'll be the following weekend. But no Lucas Oil Late Models on the schedule, so you could potentially see some Lucas guys at these two events if they're paying well enough. Let's see what these, everybody talks about how much money the late models race for. So Friday night looks like is $15,000 to win at Sonoya. I would assume another 15 on Saturday at Rome. No, a 10. So y'all brag about the late models winning or making all this big money, and you got a 15 and a 10 weekend coming up for the World of Outlaw late models. But Sonoya, I heard, is one of the best racetracks in the country. I've tried to go to the All-Star events that they've had there at the track. Rome, I've never went to. World's fastest half-mile clay track, according to their logo. So, sorry, Volusia. Sorry those who thought Knoxville was fast. Sorry those who think Eldora or Bristol is fast. Apparently, this Rome Speedway is the world's fastest half-mile clay track. Interesting on if they registered that as a trademark or if they're stating that as fact. They could have an issue on their hands. But Sonoya will be good. That'll be Friday, or this will be Saturday, the Sonoya event. So, sorry, got the weekend or the dates back and forth. Although, I guess it's, okay, I see what's going on here. Saturday and Sunday, so it's not a Friday-Saturday Tando. That World of Outlaw Sweetwater event was supposed to be Friday. That got canceled. You see that grade out above. But Sunday, Saturday, Tando here. It's 15 at Sonoya on Saturday, and then 10,000 to win October 15th, Sunday. And then everybody should be heading over to Eldora the following week for that big championship roundup situation. We'll look at the chat one more last time. Bobby is the best driver in the country. I think RTJ fans might debate that. I don't think the starter thing is the biggest deal if the track knows how to set up the way they do stuff. If it don't slow down the show up really at all. Okay. Are you saying a single provider of a new car? Ken Joseph says. Yeah, I think if you're going to do it right, you have, and this is the business way, the thing that makes money. You do it a single way, you keep it that single way, and everybody makes a cut off of that single car sale. So that's how they would do it. Why starters? Everybody says that starters would make the show go way quicker, and I think that it is true. Larson needs to finish 6th to win it all. That is the championship battle that he's talking about there, Spike Fast Racing. And it is somewhat interesting. 6th or better for this high limit championship battle. Let's see here. The points are, they don't have them. Got to go to the website. Facebook does not have them. We'll look at the web here for the points. Of course, last night here, this evening, and the manufactured championship at Bridgeport that was made up basically. It's a 15-point gap. Let's see, is there an owner championship or is the owner's championship? Okay, so it's the same. 15-point gap in the championship battle here between Larson and Rico. There is a 91-point gap between Rico's team and the Macri 39 in the owner's championship. But the driver's championship is what's up on the line. So if Larson has an issue, if he wrecks, If he has a flat, like Spike just said, if Rico wins, if Larson's 6th or worst, he won't win or 7th or worst. I guess 6 or better, he would win it. So multiple spots. I was trying to find the point structure on how they're actually being accumulated or what the difference is between spots. Let's see here. See, we'll pop up the series rules. Once again, hard to find rules around here, at least rules that are followed. Let's see, do they got anything on points? Points breakdown, section H. We're rolling down here too. So 15 points being the gap. Let's see here. We're trying to find section H. Points breakdown. So this is the points breakdown for the high limit sprint car series. As you can see there, looks like a 5-point drop from the winner to second, then a 3-point drop, then a 2-point drop. 2-point drops all the way until 9th, and it's a 1-point drop from 10th all the way to the end, it looks like. Let's see here. Each sanctioned event, regardless of ports of format. I thought there was some type of qualifying points. I know the World of Outlaws, I believe, has a quick time point system. It doesn't look like that is the case here, though. Show up points, and that's it. So no qualifying points. Interesting. Wow. I would have thought there would have been some qualifying points. Let me keep on reading. And that does not look to be the case. So no qualifying points. Interesting. Interesting here. So 15-point swing. And that's why Spike was saying 6th or better, because 86 to first, or 6th place to first, is a 14-point swing. So Rico Abreu has to win, and Larson has to finish 7th or worst. It's still going to be hard, because look at 9th to 24th. Even that is a 15-point swing in itself. So if Larson has a flat tire or flips the first lap, let's say, goes into turn 1 and flips, finishes 24th, and Rico runs 10th, it's a 1 point to the good for Kyle Larson, I do believe. If he finished 9th, it would be a tie. And that says tiebreakers for year-end points will be the number of A-main wins, followed by second place finishes, and so on. So I think Kyle has more wins on the year. So this is not as simple as people are thinking. You know, if he finishes second and Larson finishes 9th, that's a 15 on the dot swing. That would be Kyle for the good. So if Rico finishes second, he needs Kyle to finish 10th or worst. If he wins, he needs to finish 7th or worst. But that 5-point swing right there is really hard with this point structure. So 2nd to 9th is 15 points. And in the event of a tie, I believe that would give the championship over to Kyle, I believe. Let's see, view the full points. Or actually, wow. How would you do that? Second place finishes. How are they going to break this down? We're going to have to look into second place finishes. They are tied right now for wins and top fives. I guess if Rico in that scenario was to finish second, he would have one more second place finish. I'm not sure on these top fives. It's not necessarily showing second or third or whatever, just showing top 5, but they are extremely close. Wow. Interesting. So this will be one of the things to watch tonight. Interesting. Although, once again, manufactured. Can't get away from that. Manufactured. Going to the chat here. We'll see what everybody's got to say here. We are about to close it on out at the top of the hour. Let's see here. No super chats. Thanks a lot, people. Larson needs to battle it out and then cut a tire, or fake an engine problem and pull off so Rico wins in dramatic fashion. Joe C agrees. I see no problem in paying or incentivizing a driver to be full time to your series if he's a major draw. I mean, and they're talking about Outlaws paying Pierce. That's true. Ricky won't even win the Lucas title. Wow. Moran will have the walk-off win at the Big E. And that's going to be very interesting. We might have to be here live every night. This will be a shocker come for the World of Outlaws or for the Lucas Oil Late Model Championship if Ricky Thornton Jr. is not the champion. And seeing that play out and possibly either see it live in person play out or be here live talking to y'all as it plays out. Those are two options that are very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we got to get out of here, right? We're going to get out of here eventually. We got to sell these old cars, these old spellbounds, boy. We over here throwing that football crack around. You know what I'm saying? Look at that Desmond Ritter, bro. I mean, that looks so clean. And then you got the Dragon scales. It's like a 1 of 25. Some cool shit here. Anyways, we'll keep on reading. I'm playing. Chaz, will you be at 81 or Lakeside this weekend? No, I do not believe I will be. Because I feel like what we're doing here daily, every day, is building some momentum. We got people tuned in. We got people calling in. I got a potential debate tomorrow with Paul Clayton. I think we got a lot of momentum here for what I got going. I would go to tracks more, but I mean, obviously more is a understatement. I think I've been to more races over the last 3 years than pretty much anybody outside of an actual race team. So I think I've done plenty of legwork out there. I think it's time to sit here and do some work for what I got going on. I mean, going to these events or helping these people and promoting their stuff. I mean, we could do it either way, but it seems like they're not very interested in supporting what I do. And they're more so in the system, you know, and that's fine. They're living in the system. I'm not. So I'm not going to sit there and beg to be with them. They can have what they got. There is no way HUD in a rocket car will win the Lucas title. Too many Longhorns available to take him out. Are we going to see some nefarious things happen on that Lucas Oil Championship weekend? Are we really? You're telling me that there's going to be team orders from Longhorn chassis to take out Hudson O'Neal at Eldora? Is that what you're telling me, Greg Bland? That's what it sounds like you're saying. It sounds like that's what you're saying. Too many Longhorns available to take him out. Literally pointing at the rocket car will never win the Lucas title. I'll tell you this, Tony better not cut the video board again. That is bad. When that video board goes out, it's sad. It ruins the day. It ruins the day. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in today. I know we got on here a little earlier. Like I said, stay subscribed. Subscriptions will notify your phone. It'll be anywhere from 11 to 1 o'clock. I'm trying to get guests on here, do this, do that. But thanks for tuning in. Go onto the website, get some long-lived Chaz gear. Join the membership on the channel. That would be a really big, meaningful thing to me. Super chats mean a lot as well. We got to get the new names up here, the new memberships that have joined, as well as the super chatters. I wouldn't mind putting y'all's names up here because the super chatters are just as important as the memberships on the page. But if y'all want to join that, it's very cheap. I think it's like $2 a month, and it just supports what we're doing here and keeps this interaction going. We got to make sense. And speaking of making sense, I just drew this badass CJ Stroud 1 of 199. Hold on, look at this boy. Hold on. Red, white, and blue tricolor CJ Stroud. If y'all know who CJ Stroud is, y'all gonna know soon. That'll be a valuable card. I probably shouldn't be selling it, but just that card alone, ladies and gentlemen, that's a $125 card. I didn't pay $125 for it, but I'm going to turn it into $125. And that's just raw. If I send this in and grade it like Joe wants me to do, it would be worth like $850. You know, I'm not, but we're playing the game. We're playing the game. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. If we do go live on here and do some kind of card break video, It will be very brief. We may turn it into like a talk show of some kind. But there are some people out there that do card break videos, and I'm like, well, hey, I can do them. They're not hard. You just do a video and you open some cards? Okay, I can do that. So pay attention. We may be having some football card stuff in here, trying to branch the audience out once again, as well as a new song coming, Down in These Roots. Pay attention. It's coming, boy. It's coming. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like the video, comment below with what you think. Share the video around. Means more than anything. And as always, I was about to say, what an asshole. You're saying this shit over again. Be sure to subscribe. But it really does matter. I'd like to see the channel get to 10K subscribers by the end of the month. And I think if we go live here every day, that is possible. Let's make it possible, ladies and gentlemen. Get it out there. Subscribe, comment, like, share, all the damn things you need to do. Join the membership channels and get up on your super chats. And until next time.
We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst. We can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride.